Surfire was watching as Akame summoned her imperial arms. She was managed to cut her own hand, and the poison within her blade ended up coming to consume her, but instead of killing her, it transformed her. She basically summoned her demon mode. Akame in demon mode actually kind of terrified Sir Flowers just a little bit, but not too much. Sir Flowers looked and saw that there was like dark red markings all over her entire body. And it's even like strange markings in her eyes. And it kind of creeped him out a little bit. Female Godzilla grabbed him and slammed him on the ground multiple times. I will admit, Sir Flowers, your girlfriend is quite terrifying and quite a beast herself. I can see why you'll go for a girl like her. But besides that, it won't even matter. Because once when I'm done, I'll kill her. Sir Flowers' eyes turned dark red. What did you just say? I said I'll kill her. Sir Flowers grabbed her arm and snapped it instantly. She roared out in pain. Sir Flowers then bit her on her neck and started dragging her along the ground. Estes' eyes were widened, and Akame ended up turning around and shocked herself. Sir Flowers' body was glowing, and it was glowing in a deep dark orange color. This was his rage mode. Sir Flowers ended up grabbing female Godzilla and dragging her along the ground. He ended up biting on one of her dorsal spines, the middle one. And he actually ripped it off. Female Godzilla roared out in pain. Everyone couldn't see what was going on, but they could definitely hear what was going on. Oh boy, Female Godzilla must have said something bad about Akame that made Sir Flowers angry. And from the sound of his roar, he sounds pretty peed off. Akame was actually managed to land a good hit on Estes, using her demon sword. But unfortunately, Estes had to literally cut her entire arm off so that way the poison would get to her body. Okay, she's just so messed up. On one hand, I can understand her. She just had to no other choice, but still, that's kind of messed up. Sir Flowers ended up using the spine as a weapon. He ended up stabbing female Godzilla multiple times. Female Godzilla tried to get away, but Sir Flowers fired his atomic breath. She fired back. It obviously came when it comes to atomic breath battles. Sir Flowers' atomic breath was clearly stronger. He overpowered his aunt's atomic breath almost instantly. Akame was getting tired. She was wasting more and more energy by the minute, the second she remains in her demon mode. Estes was a bit more tougher opponent than she originally thought. But she wasn't going to stop until she had killed Estes. She knows Sir Flowers can handle female Godzilla by himself. Sir Flowers fired his atomic breath, cutting off half of female Godzilla's tail. She roared out in pain. She tried to punch him several times, but he ended up biting her on her arm, shaking her like a rag doll. No matter how many times female Godzilla tried to get away, Sir Flowers ended up dragging her back into the battlefield. He ended up slapping her in the face with his own tail, and he ended up strangling her and dragging her along the ground. He ended up copying the Mechagodzilla 2021's battle tactics with some of the battle tactics that he used on Godzilla when he was whipping Godzilla's butt. And it was before Kong interfered in the fight. Godzilla tried to crawl away, but first Super Farmers ended up stomping on her leg, crushing her leg almost instantly. And using his toe claws, he was actually managed to leave some deep scratch marks on her. She roared out in pain, but before they could continue, time and space got froze instantly. And that can only mean one thing: S-Death. S-Death used her trump card so that way she could stop Akame. But just before she actually thought that she actually killed Akame, she realized that Akame wasn't really there where she was standing. She was actually managed to move so fast that SF barely saw her move. She was still frozen in place where she originally was at. And then when time and space refroze, Akame came down from above it, managed to leave a deep scratch, managed to leave a deep slice onto S-Death's body with her demon sword. This time, it wasn't something that S-Death can just simply cut off. It was on her entire body. S-Death and Akame turned their attention back to Super Final Wars and Female Godzilla. Akame had turned back to her normal human form. Super Final Wars grabbed Female Godzilla by the throat. He lifted her up and she looked at him dead in the eyes. He bit at her neck again, draining the power that he needed to bring back Tatsumi and the others. Then he slammed Female Godzilla to the ground, forced open her mouth, and fired his atomic breath, giving her the kiss of death. Unfortunately, looks like both her and S-Death met their end. No one threatens to kill my lamp. No one. Not even my own family members. He turned his attention back into Akame and S-Death. Super Farmers knew what S-Death was intended to do. She was intended to freeze her and Tatsume's dead corpse. So that way, both her and Tatsume could be together for eternity. Luckily enough, Super Farmers managed to grab Tatsume's body and fired his atomic breath, turning S-Death's body into but nothing but just ash. Super Farmers turned back to his human form. Akame came over to him and hugged him tightly. He hugs her back. It's done. Oh my god, I wasted like all of my energy basically in that fight. I never imagined she might actually make me go into my rage mode. Akame, are you sure that was... I'll be fine. I can live through it. The markings might still remain on my body, but I'll survive. That's good to hear. Super Farmers and Akame kissed. For a while, Super Farmers was not ready to make his own alpha call. He wanted to rest for a little bit. They ended up looking for Leone. Superfowers was dragging Tatsume's body on his back. They ended up hearing gunshots and Leone's voice. When they arrive, Leone has killed the Emperor's assistant. But she had a gunshot on her stomach. Superfowers decided to use the ability now, before it was too late. He used the ability and gave Leone her imperial arms back and healing her wounds instantly. He brought back Tatsume, Bullet, Levitt, Mine, Shell, Chelsea, and Susanoo. Now that completely drained in the entirety of his energy. But he still had enough power to transform back to his Godzilla form. Man, I am so effing done with this mission. Half of Esdeath and Female Godzilla's army retreated. The rest remained behind. Superfowers transformed back to his Godzilla form to check on Karen Zethrine and the others. But something got his attention. Night Raid and Superfowers' team watched as Superfowers turned around and saw that all the monsters were heading towards him. Every single one of them, including a few numbers from Female Godzilla's old army. They all watched as all the monsters circled around Super Final Wars. Then they noticed that Ziltuz was missing. He approached Super Final Wars and roared to get his attention. Super Final Wars turned around and saw the Ziltuz, so bowed down to him and said, "Long live the king." Superfowers turned around and growled at the others, telling them to bow down. They all bowed down instantly. With Ziltuz being the first one to bow down, he was chosen as Superfowers' beta, second in command of the Monster Kingdom. Even Night Raid ended up bowing down to Super Final Wars, all except for Akame, who was chosen to be Super Final Wars' queen of the monsters. Even people from the city ended up bowing down to Super Final Wars. Super Final Wars took a deep breath. He stomped his foot to the ground. He decided to roll both for him and Akame, announcing them as the new king and queen. The alpha call could be heard from miles and miles away. Super Final Wars is the true king of the monsters. And peace has been finally restored to the land.